exactly equally. And everybody will be fed equally, everybody will be provided with equal strength and equal faculties. If that were the claim of God about his own plan of creation, then of course it would be a paradox. But I don't read such a claim anywhere in any divine book. Have you read any?
No, but what I had in mind...
Tell me, you are a scientist, aren't you? Tell me, if there was not uneven distribution of happiness and satisfaction, could evolution proceed a single step forward?
Well, you need there's sacrifice of those who are of things that are imperfect.
What I am saying is, could evolution take place on the road to, higher species, etc., a single step, if all the members of the species, which was the first known species on earth, were completely equally fed, equally preserved, equally protected, and they were not threatened by anything? Will there be any movement forward in the wheel of evolution or not?
No, I mean, you need, the evolution cannot proceed without...
Okay. So misery and content, loss and gain, are two wheels of the caravan of evolution. And you cannot conceive of one without the other. So it's a much deeper question and much more profound issue than what meets the eye. Why accidents? That's another question. Why congenital defects is yet another question. Is it because man has been misbehaving and some of his misbehaviors have gone deeper into his genes, and some of the disease products have attacked the very cells which are responsible for reproduction, or is it just accidental? Now, even this issue is to be resolved before one begins to answer or form this question which you are forming. Now, it's a long discussion, I know. It will take up most of the time tonight and tomorrow as well. So, I tell you one thing, you should be glad to learn that in my book, which is now about to be printed, in which I have dealt with the issue of reason, knowledge, truth and revelation, I have taken up this very subject. And when you go through it, then if there are any remaining questions, inshallah, I'll be very happy to answer them.
What's the title of the book?
Pardon?
The title of this book?
I think it will be ready within...
Title. The name of the book.
Title?
Yeah, name.
Title, you mean?
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes I fail to understand American English. I'm sorry. I hope the same is not true of you vis-a-vis my English. You see, the title, as I said, was Reason or Rationality. I don't exactly remember, but I think it's either reason or rationality, knowledge, truth and revelation. This was a title suggested to me by the professor of, I think it was some scientific faculty in University of Zurich. The head of that department suggested this title to me for my proposed address in that university. The background is that he became known to some Ahmadis, he came perhaps to some question and answer sessions, or otherwise he read some literature and he became interested. He wanted me to introduce Ahmadiyya view to the university students, but he was afraid that if the students knew it was a religious leader who was coming to address them, none would turn up for audience, as audience, because he told me that if you compare this university with other universities, the larger number of atheists, percentage of atheists is found in the University of Zurich than anywhere else in the world. This was his assessment. He said they just are not interested in any religious topic. So if I gave you a title which was apparently religious, they would not turn up, they would not be interested. So he said, I said, I didn't say myself, but the missionary in charge there at that time, he inquired from him what he would suggest instead. So this was the title which he suggested. He said, I know they're philosophical. They're interested in the issue of rationality, what it means, what it stands for, what is knowledge, what is certainty in knowledge, and truth in relation to a knowledge being true and right. So these are very interesting issues debated from the times immemorial by man. So he said, I will add one word, revelation, to that, thereby giving you an opportunity to enter through that window into the realm of religion and then tie it up as you please. So that was a very wise, I think, and very kind gesture at his part, and I followed it. Now this was delivered, this speech, a few years ago, but it has a very, let's say, interesting but also difficult background to explain. Difficult in the sense that originally I proposed to address them directly in English, but Sheikh Nasir Ahmed Sahib, who was to translate me into German language, because most of us didn't understand English, he suggested that I write the lecture in form of notes in Urdu first, and he can translate Urdu into German better than English into German. So this is why the issue became so involved. So it was my mistake to accept that advice. Now Urdu is not as appropriate as English is for discussion of this nature. But anyway, I did what I could. Now when I finished the work, it was so long that it was impossible for him to have it translated and pack it up in a short space of an hour and a half. So he further shortened it and delivered some sort of address. I don't know whether he attributed right things to me or wrong, but the audience were quite interested. It was suggested that I should translate it into English and other languages. I sent this sort of speech, written address, to different scholars, and whenever they translated, I was not happy, because it was not what I wanted to say. The effect was so different and so artificial that I gave up the attempt at last. Then came a team of Ahmadi scholars from England who said, we who know Urdu as well as English, we are born here, we will try to help you. And they did to a large degree. But still, you know, they missed so many points because there are 5 different subjects discussed. And they are well versed in some and not well versed in others. So that is why there were gaps appearing here and there in communication gaps. So at last it was Basit, Sheikh Basit, who came to my help. He said, let us rewrite it. Forget about the translation. So we started translating it ourselves, but it actually turned out to be another attempt to dictate a book. So with the help of Basit, who took short notes, not short notes, but in longhand, he wrote very fast and retyped, then typed them what I said, and then made some suggestions regarding some difficult points which were not properly cleared.
So it took